All right, I'm here in my comfy shirt, and today's gonna be chest. It's gonna be a relaxed day. No, I'm just kidding. It's not gonna be relaxed. I just had a good night's sleep, good recovery, feeling good, and I'm happy about that. I'm feeling good about my routine I've gotten into. I pose every single morning. I weigh in, pose, wait a little bit to eat before cardio first, and then I eat. And that's been a pretty good method for me because I'm trying to get 2 cardio sessions in a day and a workout every single day. And what I'm going to start doing, I think, it's already been cardio, eat, some meals in, get it in, and usually like evenings when I get my lift in, evening to night. And then after that, I wait a little bit because I'd like to split it up. And I end up hitting my cardio very last, and then after that I wind down. What I think I'm going to start transitioning into is cardio when I wake up still. And then eating, get to my workout, do my workout, and then the final cardio right after the workout. So I can actually get into kind of a wind down mode, I don't want to be kept up as much because recovery is important. However, I need to be able to maximize the time that I have to recover. By splitting up the 3, I'm doing the best I can to give myself rest in between, but then it takes me longer to rest overall, get into that final mode. And also, it's just time consuming, got work, got school, gym, food, and combining it for, maybe the last month or so, I think that might be a good idea. And eventually, obviously, I'm going to have to start really research. I've done a little bit of research, but really researching into, okay, here's what I do for the last 2 weeks. This is my diet. It's going to be very specific, And then how do I carb up? How do I manipulate water, sodium, all that good stuff. That's what I need to start focusing on. Ultimately, a lot of it's going to come down to just my physique, but if I can do anything to make it a little bit better, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let myself spill over, but I want to look full. Everybody wants to look full, but I want to be as shredded as I can. So every single day I've started doing abs too, because I really feel like they're a weak point. And as I've seen from pretty much every bodybuilding, legend, apparently you can train them every day. I don't know how much validity there is to that in terms of recovery, but I would assume since they're a smaller group of muscles, and even if I got a little too fatigued, maybe upper one day, lower the next, upper, lower, maybe a little obliques, but I don't really mess with that too much. But I'll get there eventually. I'll figure out what works for me. But it's going to be chest, abs, and side delts. So hopefully it's going to be a good workout, and, we'll just have to go ahead and see, won't we?
Under the back.
All right, workout done. I'm honestly happy with myself, you know. Cardio is completed too, shower's taken. It's time for me to unwind and relax. You know, I still got a little bit of light out. I think it's a good idea to combine the workout and last cardio session. And something I will say, it is easier to do the 2 30-minute sessions I've been doing rather than the hour-long session I had been doing. Ma'am? No, ma'am. It is easier to do that because for some reason in my head, it is not nearly as hard, you know, to do it for 30 minutes at a time, right? Compared to an hour straight. It's tough to keep going, and I've done it. There's never been a moment where I've quit before, you know, I said I'm going to do an hour, I do it. 30 minutes, whatever. But no, you're not allowed up there, ma'am. No, you don't get to go at the camera. I'm sorry. But as Coach knows, it is easier for me to, I guess, think about it 30 minutes each, because immediately, you know, obviously I put a towel over it or something so I don't have to see it. But it's easier for me to think, okay, 3 minutes have passed, 10% done already, you know? All right, 5 minutes, that's 18%. 10 minutes, 33%. This is easy. I'm already a third of the way done. 15 minutes, wow, I'm already done. Or I could just, hell, sometimes you just put on an episode of your favorite TV show. Boom. You know, I wouldn't play video games or anything like that because, you know, you do that and you end up falling and eating shit, you know, and then you can't work out at all. But I think the 2 30-minute sessions are actually working real well for me. I am tired, you know. Carbs are the fuel for your workout. Protein helps with muscle synthesis, right? And maintaining your muscle in the cut and helping to build muscle. Water does too. Water, your muscles are 75% water. You need to get your water in. It's important. And then the fats are for your immune system. But I am learning more than ever that carbs are the fuel during workout. Because, man, when I am in a fed state, you know, I could, you know, I'm really, you know, a little tubby, you know, so to speak. It is way easier for me to do my cardio. It is way easier for me to do my workouts because, man, it's such a difference. You know, it is just such a big shift because I guess it's that, you know, we don't realize how much the simple sugars and the complex carbs that you eat, like the oatmeal and the rice, how much that really affects your workouts because you have the energy to, you know, output as much as you can. Being in this kind of cut and you cut the carbs because, you know, you need the protein to maintain as much muscle as you can. You need the fats to stay, you know, healthy and not get sick. Carbs ends up being quite a bit you pull, you know, and man, it's a doozy. But something that I think is priceless from this is just the ability to keep on going. To not stop. No matter what, you have to keep going. That is the key. And no matter if you're doing an hour, 30 minutes, or you're working out, or whatever you're doing, you gotta say, I'm gonna do it, and stick to it. Because you owe it to yourself. Whether you're tired, you know, maybe adjust your goals if you're a little too tired. You know, that's responding to your body. But don't let yourself down. If you set a goal for yourself, do your damnedest to achieve it. And if you don't, that's okay. But you owe it to yourself to try. Even if you don't have a lot of carbs or energy or whatever, give it all you got. And you will be happy with yourself because you'll know that you tried your best. So, with that out of the way, I'm going to relax for the rest of the night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next workout.